I've been called to heal.
Doctor, will I make it?
I've been looking over your chart. All I can tell you for sure is that Candace Owens is a low IQ loser. She's not even as hot as Macron's wife. I think she's jealous because Brigitte has a bigger and more attractive penis. Then you got Megyn Kelly bleeding all over the place. People are saying Candace should be on a teeny weeny submarine. Sad, very sad.
Yeah, I'm just a Kurp. Yes. I'm only a Kurp. And I'm derpity derping on the interwork. Well, it's a long, long skirt to the viral circ. It's a long, long work while I'm stuck in the commerp. But I know I'll go summer. At least I hope and pray that I work. But today I'm still just a Kurp. Well, I'm just a Kurp and I derpity derp. I owed you come and derp with mirth. From the depths of the furp, I start as a smurf, hoping for likes and chirps to climb the warp. Then it's off to the chirps when the big derps to surf. If I pass all the chirps, I'll be shared foreign word. But if I get flagged or we derp, back to the draft, I'll derp. We work in repurp in the endless constant derp. Please buy a t-shirt, help Kid Kurp off surf. Have you read their phonetics? Oh, you come and Dirk with Derp.
Oh, wow. What a great Derp with Kurp this is going to be. Well, we don't have a lot of time, so I can't dick around. I just had a short preview of my show I've been working on, Dr. Trump, Medicine Jesus, which I would expect big things from. But right now, I got to bring in my buddy Sean Patrick Hazlett from Through a Glass Darkly. Because there's too many things to go over. And Sean has had, like, since the last time I seen him, a whole bunch of shows and probably learned 20 more things I want to know. So, one, before we even started, I was asking if you know what the fuck the Invisible College is. I thought I knew what it was. It's a merch store online, isn't it? You know?
Yeah. So, I don't know when it started, but I know that it stretches all the way back to at least Francis Bacon and, like, Isaac Newton, all that good stuff. So you have
when
people
will the
who
externalization of the college happen?
Well, I don't know if they revisited or not, but there's a Rosicrucian connection too. I think Bacon was a Rosicrucian, but so was Villay. So I don't know if the current crop of like ufologists and people of that ilk reconstituted it, or if it was some long line stretching back from this
Mark,
Rosicrucian connection.
Well, I think Nathaniel Gillis, aka Smart Shane, is right that it's some cult of necromancers going back a long way. Because there's invisible, they're always, your dead loved ones are involved in this. Even just a UFO thing. For some reason, your death and Whitley Strieber especially will tell you about how many dead people he talks to. So that's necromancy is what that's called. And every time you hear about these ceremonies, it's all the same fucking thing. And Nathaniel knows about this shit going back. Wait, I guess it's really old, like Herod Agrippa. Yeah,
you were on a previous, I don't know which episode it was, but you were talking about the 9. The 9, like, that stuff comes up constantly. So
yeah, that's the Invisible College. 9 neocon Zionist Jews.
You're talking about you're talking about Nathaniel Gillis. So are you from? Did he ever talk to you about the skull experiment?
Oh yeah, no, I know about skull experiment. Yeah, I had Mara and him on Steve Mara and him. I keep wanting to say Tony Mara, but it's Steve Mara.
So Mara told me that they determined that all that stuff that was coming through at the end was the 9.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either until like, a few weeks ago.
So okay, just the people who don't know what because we just like to get right into it. But the reason we bear the 9 is because when Mark Windows was here on Windows on the World, and he used to be in, I forget what fraternal organization, but he's got so much good research. But there's a free book online called DISSIPATION, Dissipation of the Darkness. I can't remember who it's by, but it's supposedly a former member of the Masons. They're not Freemasons yet; they're called Masons, right? Or maybe I'm wrong. Oh no, they're called Freemasons, but it's like 1911 or something. It says the guy's dead, and in the book, it's like he's now deceased, and he had secret shit from the Freemasons. And basically, according to this book, they were founded in like 43 AD or something by Herod Agrippa, the one who gets eaten by worms in the Bible from the inside while he's boasting. Historically, Caligula, a very good friend of Caligula, which I find amazing. Like if you look up his story, it's real creep, because Caligula, I don't know if you know, is something kind of a little bit of a creep. And he was from Nathaniel, and he was heavy into sigil magic. That's interesting. Anyway, in this book, he had 8 friends, and they called themselves the Nine. And because Christianity was spreading too much, there's why I don't think it's a Caesar's Messiah thing. I think there's something like they always do. We got to appropriate a thing that is too populous for us. They quit. And so we formed that group, and that's who Simon Abiff is. What's his name? Hiram Biff.
Hiram Abiff.
Hiram Abuel is his real name, and he got killed by wild dogs. And in honor of this is what's in the book. I honestly would think, all right, is this real? Other than they called the Nine. That's the first.
By the way, minor detour, but I gotta point this out. Weird synchronicity. So your producer Mark, I sent him a picture, and it's a picture of me on a tank. On the gun tube of the tank, it says Caligula. Anyway, I'm just putting that out there.
Really? Why though?
Yes.
You fans, Bob Guccione fans?
Well, 2 things. Okay. So for smart people, it's like, oh, it's all the tanks are named after Charlie Company C. But for my soldiers, the porno.
Yeah. Well,
Bob Guccione
movie.
Bob Guccione. That they're not porn. You know,
I like
the artful.
He cut like midget pornography into the movie they shot. It's really amazing. It's like that and Dune by David Lynch are the original cuts. And I think there's a new there's like 5 cuts of both them movies, and there's one of Caligula. It kind of makes halfway sense. Because you ever see it? I saw it a long time ago. And it came in a.
I don't think I've ever. I just know it's like Malcolm McDowell's in that movie, and he was like in a Clockwork Orange, and he's amazing. And then he like goes and does this. Yeah, it's fantastic. All right, sorry, I didn't mean to divert. We were talking about the Nine. So
because just one scene. There's a Roman soldier who's like getting married. So you know how in Braveheart they had the thing prima nocta, where
first night.
Okay. Which, by the way, they did not have that. That was not a thing. It's made up. But who would put up with that? Honestly, God, who would put up with that for that long of a civilization? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So no problem.
You would have to fade into it. Yeah.
Yeah, have at it. Yeah.
In this movie, Caligula blesses their marriage by dipping his fist in the wedding cake and ramming it up the guy's ass. Whoa, that was the worst wedding night ever, dude.
Didn't he elect his horse to the Senate, or was that somebody else?
No, he put his horse in the Senate, and then he would he'd bang your wife, and then you'd be at dinner. He's like, I'm gonna go bang your wife, and then you come back in, and then he talks about your wife's tits while you eat. He's a real solid citizen. He's a solid citizen, you know. Caligula means little boots. So anyway, Herod Agrippa, who, the King Herod in the Bible story, I mean, it's in that story, so maybe he's like a really good guy and they're just being unfair to him. But Herod is the guy who had all the firstborn killed because of astrological science, which is classic to this day. The powerful use astrology to figure out who's going to be a problem. And so his grandson now, so the Nepo baby of the guy that killed all the firstborn, like the goddamn Moses story, who's best friends with Caligula, who got in trouble briefly because he was such a suck up to Caligula. He would go, I can't wait for your uncle Tiberius, the guy with all the sores on his face and the kids in the pool. I can't wait for him to die because you'd be the best emperor. And he said that too much. So Caligula likes him, but he's like, dude, I don't, So he had to go away for a while. There's a whole thing that I had never heard of. And then anyway, the Bible doesn't really get into any of this Caligula part. They don't get into it. But when you hear in the Bible the guy was eaten alive from the inside by worms, you could see where these stories are converging about this other piece of shit named Herod Agrippa the Third. And the Nine is him and his eight fucking Epstein Island buddies. So everything's like interdimensional sex tourism at the end of the day. Let's face it.
Well, you know about the connection to Andrejich Puharich, right? Or Andrea Puharich in the Nine?
What race is he? What Puharich is like? That's a white. What is it? Where's he from?
I think he's Czech.
Puharich. I know. What a weird name.
Yeah. He's behind all that.
Professor X of fighting mutants and fucking the mansion. The mansion is. There's something where that's connected. The mansion where the X-Men are in the comic is like. I swear to God, it's based on Puharich's thing in upstate New York.
Because he was doing stuff with kids too. He had his Space Kids thing or something. Remember that? Like some weird psychic thing. I don't know anymore. It's just he was into a lot of weird stuff.
Guy was a real creep, and then he had some chick he would bring around on talk shows, or who is in these old 70s movies about satanic cults that are like cheap horror movies. The guy from the Museum of Tarot has a video about it. And some people were like, I don't see what you're talking about, because he's saying this woman looks obviously drugged in this movie that sucks that she's in. And I think he's right. I looked at it. It looks like some chick is been, because later all of a sudden she's some girl channeling, like, I don't want to say raw, but it's some shit like that, like some kind of raw materials type shit. She's a channeler that's all over the TV. So it's a very strange transition. And by the way, there's a lot of strange transitions from I used to do porn to now I'm like more than I would have thought, you know? Anyway, that's the 9 would be way into that. The 9.
Well, they're also connected to the Kennedy assassination. You know that whole bit, right?
The 9?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I know you don't. I know he's not your favorite guy, but Lavenda has done a ton of research on it in this book.
He's my second favorite guy. What's so bad about that?
And there were a bunch of elite families that like they did these channeling sessions up in Maine or something like that, and they were like like the Forbes family and all this stuff, and all of them were like 1 degree of separation away from Oswald.
Oh yeah, well, dude, Matt Ehret we were trying to get Matt Ehret. That's why I asked you at the last minute. Which thank you for coming on. Because right now on Netflix there's it's called Death by Lightning, and it's all about the James Garfield assassination. Which
I've seen that.
Yeah, I always thought that was one of the most hilarious assassinations long before the series. So somebody made a show, and he was in the Oneida communist sex colony.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And they're all banging, and he just doesn't want to.
Right. And the show doesn't really show this part, but the Oneida cult, they later became a silverware company that was like around for, I can't remember what they're called, but so the guy who ran the cult, Noes or something, his last name was, that creep, he comes out of the burned over district and all the weird cults that are really England's intelligence wizard operations in America, where we get all our bullshit religions in America from. We get them all from England and all from their dipshit source. So that's your Joseph Smiths and all of them. Mm-hmm. They're all the same, dispensational kind of bullshit. But this guy was more on the line of straight up Luciferian, where now they say it's Christian, but what it is they wouldn't ejaculate when they were having sex. You know that?
No. What?
They were doing the Hasidic thing of where you're like holding in your jizz and davening. Because
it's like tantra stuff.
Yeah. That's right. And if you wanted because to let a load out, you had to have a committee approve it, like communist, like Mao's China. Yeah. These things
I'm assuming in advance. They're not like observing. It's like, oh, well, should we have a vote on that or what?
No, that's exactly how it works. And what's her name? Woodhull. Is it Victoria? No, not Victoria. There's somebody named Woodhull, famous Woodhull, who's part of the Theosophy movement, who loved it. There's a lot of shit named after Woodhull. She was Vanderbilt. She's like they'll talk about it like a early woman stock trader. There weren't enough women in fucking devil finance, and finally, but this bitch loved that idea. You've heard it in movies and shit. Parenthood with Steve Martin. There's a line Keanu Reeves says, and he goes, you have to get a license to fish or whatever, but any asshole can make a kid. And it's supposed to be like a thing where like, yeah, that's a good. And it's actually like the most evil fucking idea that you would let this inbreds tell you when you can mate or not. What am I, FLDS? Fuck you. So, and by the way, I'll fish wherever I want to. Cunt, a license for. I should have a license for any of those. Anyway, that's what these people like. They're all gain of function research. Every one of these cults, is, and then it gets out of if it gets out of the lab, cool. Well, I'll be fine. I'm going to sell you the cure. And if anybody that I'm close to, this victim, they were weak. Don't forget, I'm a social Darwinist. So all these people have handlers, and the Oneida cult, where that guy came from, they make it like he's just some loser, right? A real Lee Harvey Oswald couldn't get along anywhere and was always annoying, or the kid that shot Trump that Trump doesn't want to look into, and it's not suspicious.
Yeah, that there's no social media profile at all, and
with all these weird hints about there's something way fucked up about this, and it's like, no, there's nothing else. Don't worry about it. He acted alone. But they're always a loser. So the template of the loser with his goddamn manifesto in his shirt pocket goes back a long motherfucking way. And Matt Ehret, first guy I heard say it on Tripoli's thing. Oneida, they're making assassins. These are dude, they're making assassins. That's what they've always done. Going back to the old man in the mountain and the Hashashim. It's a bunch of weird incels getting drugged up and getting a glimpse of pussy and then going out and killing for you. And probably some kind of weird homosexual abuse. It's very old. It's a very old technique. And Oneida was that, and Charles get out, because James Garfield in the show, unless you're looking for it, once you see, because it's well acknowledged how corrupt it is. And right around that time, Matt Harris got a list of all the people assassinated. My goodness, it looks like they're all scientists right around now who work with plasma or UAPs.
Yeah, like a 10th one just disappeared like today or
I saw Sean, was it who's talking to Avi Loeb, the great Avi Loeb, who said, well, they might be connected, but I don't know that they're oh no, you don't see
they're clearly connected.
Well, I know for a fact they're all connected to that one general who they have a picture of him wearing 2 helmets like he's fucking slow. I know that they're all connected to him. That's a connection, you know. And why the fuck?
Yeah, he's an Air Force laboratory. Yeah, it's Air Force laboratory. He was funding. There was that Reza woman who was, I forget what she was doing. There's a Caltech scientist who was looking at
phone down, walk outside with a gun. Now, what do you think that could be, dude? You did a remote viewing of this shit, didn't you?
Yeah, well, McCaslin, there wasn't a lot of detail, but I didn't personally. My team did.
No, I mean, I saw the thing.
Yeah. They one viewer, and again, this stuff is like 60% correct, like any intelligence technique. So just with a grain of salt.
No,
but
they all viewed weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. I understand.
Actually, there's a story behind that too in the first Gulf War. But he forward deployed his chemical weapons, and then when he was setting those oil fires, he set off some of those. He let the chemical weapons kind of.
Well, I got great news for you, dude. You're gonna love this one. We set those fires in the oil wells. It wasn't Saddam. It turns out. It just came out. It just happens to be a thing on a goddamn news show where I have to always see the constant betrayal from every level of fucking America on everything I've ever heard. Because like Syria. Why did he chemically attacked? No, he fucking didn't. Why would he do that? Why would he? Right. How would that help him to do that? I see,
right, especially if it's a red line, right?
Yeah, none of the terrorism itself. I don't know if people think that like the West did not invent it, but much like COVID and Nazism, yes, it did, and communism and Maoism, it all comes from the same oligarchs who still rule your dumb asses to this day. And I'm still amazed at it. People that are smarter than me, I know they are, that I talk to all the time, that really studied this shit. They can't make that connection somehow when it's like not even a hidden connection.
Well, after Epstein, it's undeniable, right? Like there is a level of reality control, whatever you want to call it, above what we see as like traditional nation states and stuff like that.
Well, look at the overall thing, dude. The 9. So you got this hilarious mystery cult, which is what our entire thing is. Oh, are we about to be initiated into knowing what the egg ship is? Oh
no. No,
maybe next cycle, and then
maybe next time. Maybe next time.
Yeah, maybe.
And you can tell because
your initiation. What are you talking about, assholes? With this initiation shit, go fuck yourselves. Oh, I hate them so much. But you see, the setup is this like constant. Now you can know the real story. Now you've been traumatized enough.
Yeah, they'll let a little bit out, and then half of it'll be bullshit. And it'll be, they'll have a little modified limited hangout here where they have some sort of foundation and they, and basically they use it to bring in experiencers, and then they can catalog them and figure out who's what and what they're seeing. And then they can use them to find out more or interface more with whatever the hell they're interfacing. Right. That's how it works.
It's the 9. See, it's much like Nexium at the top of the cult are some like loser Nepo babies that started a fucking stupid mystery cult. Like, as it always is, some scion of somebody who study. You know how rich people love magic? Like Gwyneth Paltrow had a whole business of magic shit, and Oprah had The Secret, which I think means the occult, if I'm not mistaken. Literally, that's what it means.
The Secret? Like the word The Secret means? Oh, yeah.
New thinking.
It's like manifestation. It's like manifestation, right? I'm going to manifest this and that. Right.
I have a triangle that I look through, and all I got to do. And so, of course, the people at the top of it are weird sex perverts from back in the day that want to do weird shit from beyond the grave. And like, I would liken how they are to, I don't know if you ever did coke or not, but like, remember Harvey Weinstein, big time cokehead, who's such a piece of shit, his dick fell off. but he had to like go jerk off in a house plant during one of his harassments.
Oh yeah. That's one of the things, right, that he got charged for.
So do you like the level of deviance of like, hey, like you're, I mean, if that's not possession, I don't know what the fuck is, you know, that you do that to your fucking.
Yeah. Why would you do that? Like, what would possess you to like, hey, I can just do this.
That's why we have a saying called "What would possess you to do that?" Because non-human intelligence.
Because something does. Because something does.
Yeah, you know, inspiration or whatever. If you're a receiver and you're picking up signals, that's what all those astrological, you know, like the light or the plasma or whatever you want to call them, from all the different phases of things are different, like transmissions. Supposedly, this is what R.A. Castaldo is telling me. I think, unless I'm getting it wrong. But that's why they're keeping track of this shit like that, of like the with top position stars rings. I think it's like picking up different stations at different times is the clumsy way I would put it, is how they think of it. Like that, how General Flynn, that MK Monarch fucking sack of shit. He talks about the 7 rays. A lot of Luciferians like talk about the 7 rays.
Wait, what the hell were the 7 rays?
Oh, well, if you had gone to the TPUSA events, you should have been going to, you would know that, or the 7 mountains, or the 7 spheres of influence. They start to sound like other terms you've heard when you hear all the different names.
Well, the 7 spheres, like the original 7 planets, basically. That's what it sounds like.
See how they all see the Hermetic shit where they go, oh, and that correlates to 7 planets, and we can figure out by this that a child will be born in Bethlehem, that we got to send 3 Persians to kill him. So fucking yeah, that's what they do, and that's why they had that Hamilton pharmacopoeia guy was talking about it on Danny Jones. That computer that the government was giving to our third world allies. It was like an astrology computer, a high-tech astrology computer that would show them signs that we wanted them, so they'd make moves we want them to make. You know that story?
No. Why would you ever accept something like that from the intelligence community? They just manipulate that and make
because they've been initiated to a certain level.
Oh,
hey, look, buddy. Look, we tell. Hey, we're both sorcerers here. You're in the inner circle where we know about the lizard people, and I heard that you're descended from them. There's a thing in Mexico they were doing in Kathy O'Brien's book, the president at the time, when she went to NASA, and they chilled her body. They had chilled a fucking lizard down and inserted it into her so they could film her giving birth to a reptilian to trick the president of Mexico, who thought he's descended from, you know, the plumed serpent. And that was one of the, and so, yeah. So when I hear that story in one book, and then I hear Hamilton saying about the astrology devices, of course they want, you know, Hillary Clinton, and especially if you're like a shitlib New York bitch or from LA, well, all girls love astrology, but Hillary Clinton would channel Eleanor Roosevelt. Yo, what do you need to know from that fucking box lunch motherfucker? What does she need to know from Eleanor Roosevelt? A good recipe for a kid's face? Like, what do you need to talk to Eleanor Roosevelt about? It's just like, why? And okay, but why are you're doing seance, and she's clearly deeply she's not an atheist. When you talk about how she's deeply spiritual all the time, she is.
Yeah, she knows something. She knows something the rest of us don't know.
And she had that person from her office ask about. I thought it was fake, or like, oh, some weirdo just asked about Gilgamesh's resurrection chamber in a FOIA request. You remember that?
No. Yeah, when was this?
It's a while ago. We can find it probably. Mark, you heard of that, right? And so I was telling Michael Malice about this. So I'd heard of that. I never looked into it because I'm like, what? And the name is some name. I don't know where they're from, but it's some kind of Star Wars fucking name. It's I don't know. Anyway, it's someone who works in her office made the FOIA request. So that's for her. That's not for the person who made the request.
Yeah, just for Gilgamesh's resurrection.
Hey, Gilgamesh.
It's not.
And all those lodges of masonry, like the Lodge and the whatever, they're all into that shit because, as you know, they feel they descended from the Anunnaki in some quarters, such as Delaware. Just want to talk about it. His parents talk about it. Yeah.
I think when I grew up like 7 miles from that place, I used to drive by it every day for school. I never had that clue that stuff was going on there, Arden, in that Arden Guildhall and whatnot.
Well, some people did apparently, because Jay said as a kid, and he didn't understand it, even though he said people would be like, oh, it's a bunch of Satanists live over there. You know, it's like hick. Just like when I was in school, when people knew about DuPonts. All the people when I was in Art Institute that were townies that relatives worked at the DuPont's events, they all had a really like entertaining story about some mutant they trot out because they're so fucking inbred, like famously inbred rich people. And in fact, if you ever saw Nothing But Trouble with Dan Aykroyd's movie where he's got like a dick nose, Chevy Chase is in it, and my friend Taylor Negron, who's dead now, is in it. And it was really weird in Pennsylvania and creepy. And I think that's Dan Aykroyd knows about that. That's what I think. The sheriff is called the Reeve, which is like what a sheriff was, a Reeve. Like they use the, because if you hear about Arden, they have that. They're like, I'm the guild master of acting. And
yeah, there's a guild. There's like the Arden Guild House that's there.
Like the city of London. Yeah. You know, the city of London is run by like the Cobblers Guild. It's not, I don't think it's that one, but it's some shit. We are the Butter Churners Guild, and the king has to answer to us. Like they're like the city of London is one of the weirdest things I've ever heard of. It's like if the Federal Reserve was a city inside of London that's called the City of London. And
well, yeah. I forgot. Like I keep forgetting to go and ask my mother, but I think at one point they had like some haunted house in that Arden Guild House, and like I was a kid. Yeah, it was, but like I remember like her taking me to that place.
Wait, the Guild House? I gotta ask Jay again. I can't remember where they go down in the basement. That's the Church of the Marquis of Hell. So they go to a regular church, then they go to the Church of the Marquis of Hell after that.
Yeah, it's kind of like in this, like you just go down this road and this wooded road, and it's just kind of off to the side. You don't really notice it. It's like hiding in plain sight. Really?
Yeah, that's a phrase that his parents often would use. But the way it's laid out is they're watching who comes in and out of that town. And a lot of towns are laid out that way, going back to, like sundown town times. Like they got to keep us good. They got a hedge maze for black people. They don't want them walking into the town. There's so many towns set up like that. And you're like, oh, there's one post-World War II, my buddy George's family from, was it like Rosewood? Not Rosewood, something park, but in North Jersey, and it's a post-World War II veteran colony where it's like they wouldn't have black people be allowed to move in. And, that's how it was founded. I don't know if it was officially, but
unofficially at least. Right.
By the way, where I was born, Euclid, Ohio, or it was laid out after the war to make it so black people couldn't come in. And the only reason they started, the only people that fought it were real estate developers and wanted to sell house. That's why there's always a housing, to this day, there's a housing problem. You can't just build because it's us trying to gate our community, and then we'll put you in the designated spot for multi people.
So we can watch you.
They want you all living in projects. It's just projects for everybody else but me. You go, you stay in where you're going to be. That's what the 15-minute cities are. That's why in LA, they burn down the whole state, and rich people do, not just poor people, but people in those neighborhoods.
Yeah, we have a bill in California. It's called it's something like the anti-Nick Shirley bill. Where they're trying to pass this bill. Yeah, so you can't like do these it's like makes investigative reporting illegal, basically, effectively.
If it was a real anti-Nick Shirley, but I mean, think of like the WWE horseshit of this. Nick Shirley, the Mormon boy construct front version, okay, that is not a real journalist, is clearly a cutout out of the gate. Tim Pool at least fooled me for a while that I didn't think he was that.
Yeah.
But he's been that the whole time, I think. Now it's amazing watching that idiot. Trump's playing 5D chess probably. And what happened was it was to hurt China. Oh, that's good. You know what? I hope that I can never own a home. As long as China's sad, that's all I care about. So
that's right. That's right.
Smart. Good work. And I like he just keeps blaming Trump. They all keep saying it like as if Trump is the president and not. We should vote in Israel elections, dude. I feel I should vote for the president of Israel.
Well, I mean, we pay for their health care. We absolutely should.
Yeah, socialism can't work except in one spot from one group.
Yeah. I mean, like, look, let's start a massive war with Iran to get at China. I mean, instead of just like putting a few ships on this to block the Strait of Malacca and not causing a big war, it's more 5D chess if we hide it under a massive war in Iran that shuts down global, like 20% of the world's oil supply.
Meanwhile, we send the Artemis 2 rocket to dump the rest of the Epstein files on the moon. Quick flyby, drop the files. The Dershowitz 1 capsule breaks away, lands on the moon. But now we can move on and worry about what matters, which is harming Iran and Russia. These people talk in such insane. Dude, the greatest good that we got out of Ukraine, by the way, and I'm not like saying this bitterly. I mean, I think it's insane, but They said this. Well, we're killing a lot of Russians. Oh, thank God. Oh, boy,
I mean,
that's
their
better than
population
food in
was
my
already
belly.
declining. It was already declining, but if we could just get a few more, we can make it decline even more.
I mean, Ukraine is about to win any second now. They got Russia on the ropes. Oh, by the way, Russia somehow is also sending weapons to Iran while they're losing. You know how we don't have enough missiles left, but Russia, even while they're losing to Ukraine, they're sending. I don't think that's wise to do with their stockpile in a war, but that's Russia for you. Guy's a madman.
Yeah, that's a clear sign of losing. Clear.
China, the blockade. I asked this yesterday on Jimmy's show because the blockade of China. That's not a thing. The blockade.
Yeah, there was an oil tanker, Chinese oil tanker, ran the blockade. What are you going to do? You're going to sink a Chinese vessel?
Okay.
And
I think it's just to because I want to point out to everyone, and this is a fact, we were escorting the Chinese oil to China. Why would we do that for our enemy, China? Well, because insurance rates for shipping. Here's the nuke that Iran has. This is why they don't need a nuclear missile.
Right.
They can make us all poor overnight, like starving, because that Strait of Hormuz is that big a deal. So do you understand how much better than a nuke that is? Dude, no one understands that, and the people who do.
It's like a neutron bomb. It's kind of like a neutron bomb.
Leave the building standing. Get the meat out of there. Yep.
Yeah.
And so the blockade. You know how far away from Iranian shore blockade is? It's like fucking 700 miles or some shit. Is that a blockade?
It's kind of symbolic. We're doing something, Kurp. We're doing something. We're doing it. We're doing
Greta
it.
Thunberg did better when she ran the blockade of Gaza than we are doing. Okay, there.
Kurp, we're doing it. Come on.
So
you got to do it. We're doing it.
What happened is we probably just didn't escort them now. We're not giving them the escort. So that's how it looks like they're running it. But we've been escorting all their oil to them because we again, I don't know. Is China really an enemy? I still don't understand the relationship we have with China. It's very difficult.
They're a frenemy. They're a frenemy.
Yeah, that's probably what it is, our frenemy. I know Steve Bannon feels like there cannot be a world where there's a China and an America. We can't have it. They're just going to try to fucking, I don't know what, introduce a very similar form of state capitalism to what we have, and we can't have that.
Well, they're ahead. They're ahead on the total totalitarian control system. They're like way ahead. So they're trying to, roll it out.
They're so far ahead that they don't really give a shit what Professor Zhang says. That's how far ahead they are. Because that guy's had trouble from the government. Now, maybe
seriously?
Oh yeah, way before. The thing where they go, he got in trouble. He told Mark when Mark had him on his podcast that he wasn't going to do anymore because people were saying he predicted the Iran thing, and we're like I don't know if you've ever been to China, but if you got a business and make somebody jealous there, they'll fucking try to sabotage. It's real Venetian city state where they drop an anonymous card on you.
Oh no, I watched it happen in real because I told you this a long time ago. I used to work at Jewel, and we tried to open in China.
Well, that's right.
And we just tried to do like internet only, and I forget what they sell like 100 billion. I'm gonna get the numbers.
They love the smoke in China, dude. China,
but there's like a corporation there, like the Tobacco Corporation, and they we were in and out in like a month. It was just like, all right, impossible.
I'm surprised they didn't. You hire a bunch of Chinese who then get all the corporate secrets and then just start their own.
We absolutely did. They were okay with us producing stuff there, but they weren't okay with us selling stuff there. But they were cooperative in like raiding copycat vapes. They were good with that, but they would not let us sell in China.
Yeah, my buddy had brought Mr. Softy ice cream to China, and he when I was doing comedy there, god damn it, fucking Sam's fucking Sam Hyde's call. Why would you call? Text me. Fucking just say Sam Hyde's a fucking hilarious maniac, dude. He sent me a box of merch. Dude, he sent me a box of Sam Hyde merch that is like hilarious merch. It's like, first of all, bagged up in the most secure plastic bags. It's almost like I don't describe it, like it's funny ass merch, but there's like this seething with rage at how merch works. It's like built into it. And then it's these shirts with just like horseshit. And but the shorts I wear all the time, they're his boxing shorts from fighting. What's his name? They're a pair of boxing shorts that says Hyde Force on them.
Hyde Force.
Yeah, dude. I think the greatest sketch of all time is his little round table of people, like Providence people, arguing about. I don't know if it's immigration or housing prices. They took it down off of YouTube. And so
they got like that like Province, Rhode Island. Get in my car.
yeah, right. Except it's like the
Worcester. Welcome to Worcester.
Like the goth feminist portion of it, and then so they're just saying the stupid shit. Meanwhile, Nick Roper's blast saying like they work for I'm saying Fars Wellgo. You know what I'm talking about?
Wells Fargo. It's Wells Fargo.
Dude, that
wicked retarded. Right.
Palm Beach Pete and that. I keep saying Palm Beach Peach instead. But he goes, in Wells Fargo, we believe in equality. He keeps like throwing in stupid shit. Then they take a sandwich order. And Sam's telling me keep talking while they're getting everybody's sandwich order. Okay. And right as it's going on like too long for a sketch. This is what I think is so funny. Then they get like a little heated, and then the sandwiches arrive. Okay. He goes, keep talking, and they're like, I got tomato. And like the guys know while they're doing it. Okay, but then this is the greatest thing I've ever seen as an ending. They pull out, and there's a studio audience applaud. So there's been a studio audience watching this horseshit the entire time. It turns out, like the sandwich orders, it's like the greatest sketch ending I've ever seen. Anyway, he looks like the I'd buy that for $1 guy from RoboCop. We get off topic because of fucking.
That's an ancient reference, but that's fine. Ancient.
I'd buy that for $1.
Yeah, I'd buy that for
RoboCop. These kids only know the newer RoboCop.
Could you imagine making that movie Falling Down today? Could you imagine like that like
that movie Falling Down is really like, because the guy works for nuclear energy, right? It says defense on his license plate.
Yeah, he's like a defense contractor in like the 90s that gets laid off, and then he just like.
I interpret every one of these movies as a fucking government guy who popped off, just like the Oneida cult guy that shot Garfield. It's such a and I remember my dad, like it was everybody's dad's favorite movie when it came out. Because it opens with him fucking getting out of a traffic jam and blowing up a fucking thing with a rocket launcher, which is like so deeply. I mean, I deeply touched a lot of people in that time period who were in a car listening to talk radio, sitting in fucking traffic, you know?
Yeah.
And like they show that he's not a Nazi, like the guy who's runs the, you know, what's his name? And then Robert Duvall.
It's just everybody he interacts with happens to be a stereotype.
And then he gets Robert Duvall to kill him instead of, you know, like he was going to kill his family, but instead the cop, he does suicide by cop at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I like, this is
a very touching story. Very touching. Yeah.
It spoke to a lot of dudes that were married with a mortgage. And you see the program, it was just like Elvis, just like how Elvis is like a fucking, you know, like a template that they prescribed for many years. And in the 90s, big time pushing Elvis as a mind control template for people, I think. Like all those Quentin Tarantino movies I liked had a strong Elvis thing. Then there was like Elvis gangsters in Vegas robbing casinos. There were Elvis impersonators, right? And then there was Wild at Heart, where Nicolas Cage always do a lot of Elvis. It was like Elvis is the template of masculinity and maledom in America. So, you know, if you're some college dweeb, you're like, well, that's interesting, but I think it's something that is Tavistock type shit. Specifically like almost like a egregore or something, or a servitor, what do they call it? Where you
a servitor, like some like entity that like
and then you could die. We don't need
or AI agent, same thing.
Yes, as before they had that. So you're an icon. So now we got the God sacrifice again. You're a shooting star. You're a star, man, and then you'll always be in the sky. You won't be alive collecting the money we should have paid you, obviously, but people are gonna remember you. Yeah, that's the deal. And you know, it was funny with Elvis. When did he die? Like, I was born in 1977, so
sometime in the 70s.
I had to be little, but I remember as a kid, the big conspiracy was that he's alive.
Yeah,
and there was a guy who looked just like him that sang Elvis songs, but wasn't him, that came out. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And I think it turned out he was not Elvis, but that's weird as fucking shit that he looked like him and sang like him, but somehow it was proved he wasn't. I don't remember how. It just reminds me of Palm Beach Pete and Epstein. There's like Elvis died. Like, I heard he's still there, but like the inverted version where it fills you with not any kind of hope or something, like, oh, he's alive. It's like an inverted thing.
Or it's just like whatchamacallit, red herring. They just have somebody out there that looks just like him, even though he's probably still out there and looks exactly like himself, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think that Tupac being alive is no longer preposterous, just because I wasn't aware at the time there were so many pictures of him in Cuba. And my friend who's into music, like I'm not into music, but my friend was like, who doesn't go in for any kind of, doesn't want to be bothered with that kind of shit. He's like, well, he might be. It's like weird. It's pre-AI pictures, just pointing out. And he shows me the pictures. You find them, and I'm like, that's fucking him. What do you? So that's amazing to have. What photographic evidence are you going to have to show somebody that's going to prove anything before AI? You know what I mean? Yeah. If you don't want to see it, you're not going to see it.
So why do you think they did what they did with the they murdered him?
Who?
Tupac.
Tupac?
Yeah.
Well, there's just a lot of things have to be true for this particular thing. But based on that girl that looks like she could be his daughter, Allie something, and definitely seems like someone from the program. Definitely is right about how CPS works. I think he gave up some bastard daughter of his to the thing, so you can sacrifice a kid to get stuff. And I want out. Mm-hmm. And I've heard of this many times in other stories where you give us a kid and you're out, buddy. And you can go whatever. Because his middle name's Amaru, the god of America, the dragon god of America, mm-hmm. and his family are deep CIA. You think the Shakurs and whatever that's not a CIA thing? It is, I promise you. All Black Panthers, they immediately, whatever was sincere in that, immediately got appropriated, like every other.
Yeah, controlled opposition. Absolutely. Yeah.
In fact, they probably put the team together without him even fucking knowing. That's how they do things. Mm-hmm. And you think it's your idea. That's what magic's about. As anyone out there who went to Disneyland and rode the John C. Lilly ride, we'll call it, can tell you. You're on the ride, and it's just John C. Lilly suddenly is on the screen talking to you like that Willy Wonka movie. Did you ever hear about that? How Disney? Colonel McGregor fucking acknowledges this, by the way, that they were taking.
Really?
Jimmy said he thought it sounded too crazy until he heard Colonel McGregor say it.
What did Colonel McGregor say?
They were taking kids underneath Disneyland, the CIA.
For what?
MK Monarch. Disney's a piece of shit. Disney is garbage. It always has been. I remember having my book of Bible stories as a kid that the Jehovah's made, the tapes, mm-hmm. and I do them before I go to bed all the time, right? And all those Bavarian, before I understood this, I would go, why? Okay, I know woke sucks, but like, why is it always some weird Bavarian folktale I'm supposed to base my fucking? Because I think it's despicable how much they push
the Nazis. The Nazis we brought over.
Yeah. Disney, Artur Beek. The real guy whose sister who just bang his sister Minnie all the time, and he's from some fucking cult. That's his fucking occult nonsense. And Neil from Gnostic Informant on one of the last episode with him, we're playing this Walt Disney thing about the pentagram and Pythagoras.
I've seen that. Yeah, it's a little on the nose too. They go through all the ratios.
Why would you, if you're not looking for it? It's like watching Rob Reiner kiss his father, Carl Reiner. And they're holding the back of each other's heads, and
it's totally normal, totally fine.
You're nothing like, hey, what's the big deal? The guy loves his dad, and his dad loves him. Unless you know to look for. Hey, I heard it's not good to kiss your dad full on the fucking lips in multiple places publicly.
Kurt, if I did that to my dad, he would have beat the shit out of me. Literally,
my dad made me promise to stab him to death if he ever kissed me on my mouth, and then stab my mother for not stabbing him sooner. And he said, "You're not leaving this fishing boat until you promise me, boy."
Yeah.
So speaking of, is this a joke or not? Because you said this seems like a joke, right? So I just saw this before you came on, dude. Elon Musk, and you said this is an old video.
No, like old as in like I saw it like a week ago, so it's probably not that old.
Okay, I mean it's a fast news cycle.
So yeah, it's fast. Yeah.
Let me play this because I you said it sounds like he's joking. I don't understand. I thought at first he was a nerd joking, right?
All right, so Elon Musk says that he went to the moon and he even played golf on the moon. You can't make this up. Y'all take a listen.
I went to the moon a few times actually, and played golf on the moon. We didn't just go to the moon.
What?
We actually got a little board and started playing golf on the moon.
But why didn't the flag move? There's like that conspiracy.
That was the flag moment.
About the flag?
Golf on the moon.
Okay.
You know, I literally did.
No, I understand.
Yeah. Whacked golf ball on the moon.
There's no gravity though, right? So like
There's gravity 1/6.
There's no gravity.
If it wasn't gravity, you just float away. There's no atmosphere.
okay, fair.
There is 1/6 gravity.
All right, so Elon Musk says that he went to the moon and he
Okay, so I mean,
He said I though, right? He didn't say we. He said I, right?
but then he said we got bored. We got bored and started hitting golf balls around. You know, and then I don't know if you know part of Artemis 2, like, and this is the public thing, because I've only vaguely was aware of Artemis 2. Okay,
Yeah.
but you know, there's a lot of gold on the moon. And I was like, oh, you're telling me there's there's moon gold they're gonna give you? Oh, that's why I was like, clearly dumping Epstein files. But this chick, how much you want to bet? Is this the Katie Miller? I think Katie Miller's probably an astronaut, right? She goes, there's no gravity.
Yeah, she certainly. Yeah,
Oh,
that's like that's up there with Alicia, whatever Cortez, whatever the hell, AOC. Remember
What?
AOC? Something about like the moon is only out.
No, that's Chelsea lately, not Alex. Good guess though, but no, that is didn't AOC? No, Chelsea lately said on a talk show. That's a funny thing to put on. That she didn't know. I mean, it's very honest of her, you know.
Yeah,
I probably would pretend like I knew what the. I pretend I knew how the moon worked the whole time. If I'm being honest, I wouldn't have come forward and, like she did bravely and say. Let me put it. Hold on. Yeah, the moon and the sun. Okay, hold on, wait. Let me share with you. She blew Fallon's mind. Is it up?
I don't know. I think they may have made him up, maybe. But there's an incident where like he's frazzling the computers, right? That's based on something that really happened in Augsburg, Germany in 1983.
Oh, when we were talking to him, he was saying that.
Yeah.
And the guy said far out. He goes, "You burn off my computers," and he didn't want to admit it.
Here's the thing that he didn't say. I said it to him because again, pattern recognition. I'm like, wasn't Abel Archer in 1983?
Oh yeah.
You know what Abel Archer was?
No.
So the incidents of that Augsburg thing, there's still things that happen that are highly classified because they basically shut off all the skiffs on both sides of the Iron Curtain. Like when he went crazy,
They
it shut off
the skiffs.
His PK incident shut off the skiffs on the like on the NATO side and on the Warsaw Pact side. So the Russians all of a sudden, so the U.S. is running this big exercise. I don't know the exact dates of when it happened, but when I brought it up, his face went white.
Oh.
But during this time, there was this massive military exercise where the U.S. was like running war games with real like tanks and stuff like that, moving to the border to prepare for, war with Russia. And the Russians were really twitchy. Imagine if you're that twitchy and all of a sudden your skiffs just wink out for no reason.
What I thought a skiff is the little room you go in and tell Senator Kennedy.
It is. So like the electronics in the skiffs.
Oh, okay.
So imagine if your electronics, your secret, highly classified electronics on the Russian side, and you don't know what the hell's going on, just shut off. There's all these U.S. military assets converging on your border.
Oh, that's not
right.
good.
That in 1983, that was one of the closest times we came to nuclear war.
Is that
and
why?
It may have been because, or that PK incident may have contributed to that.
Okay, so is that a different incident than the flock of birds or something that almost caused a nuclear launch?
Probably,
Is Abel Archer what's being referenced all the time in all pop culture? Is that the incident, or is there more than one that I don't know about?
Well, Abel Archer was like a cascade of incidents. Just imagine a giant like training exercise where we're bringing all these U.S. forces to Europe, getting closer to the Russian border. For all intents and purposes, the Russians, we said it was a training exercise, but it could have been a preparation for an attack.
Well, why would you do that publicly next to the border? I mean, I don't see a training exercise being anything other than like, the Pakistan Kashmir border where they do that dance at each other. on each side of the border. Like, what are you accomplishing doing it in front of them? Your training exercise, other than it's a message to them.
It's a message. It prepares forces. Like the Chinese have been doing it outside of Taiwan. They did one in, I think, 2024, 2025, where they encircled the island.
And really?
Just to show that they could.
I believe in preemptive defense, so I'll go up, like, say somebody, I don't like how someone's looking at me somewhere, like a, whatever, bar, library, it don't matter. I go up and practice my katas really close to their space. Like, I give them a, I'm like, what? Not touching you. So they play I'm not touching you with Russia, and then he had a fucking psychic
PK, PK like a
fucked up
PK event that like zapped their skiffs and our skiffs.
Oh shit!
But they didn't know
touching us. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So imagine if you're on the Russian side, you're like, what the?
Wait, was that when we were talking to him at the same time, or is this a different time? Was that on the Zoom thing? Because I remember you bringing that. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even pick up on that at the time, but now that you say it, I remember what you're saying.
Yeah, his face went white. Like, well, I also interviewed him. There's another interview where I did that. When I interviewed him the first time, his face went white. He didn't admit to like that was during the same time, but both incidents happened in 1983. That's for certain. So they could have been correlated. They might not have been.
Wow, that's fucking weird as hell, man.
It's crazy. It's freaking crazy, which is why it would be heavily classified.
So we covered a story yesterday on Jimmy's show. We're like talking about like old shit, like so the Snowden documents. Then I guess there were NSA something. It's not like a knock list, or maybe it is. I don't know, but they, Erica Kirk's mom's definitely an NSA agent. I thought she just worked for like Raytheon or something, but no, she's in the Snowden leaks. She was in there. Her fucking mom, yeah, Lori Frantzvi, and her aliases are all misspellings of Frantzvi almost. Like that's it. Except one of them is like Palm Beach Pete. But other than that,
well, you're talking about Tupac too. You got Tupac in there. So.
Yeah, and a bunch of these people are constructs out of the gate. Once you realize the '60s how it worked, that all of them are somebody's fucking military, like China. The emperors. What do they call them? The generals' kids that like are basically who run it. Like, well, Xi runs it now, but it was always like the sons and daughters of the original.
Jim Morrison,
and
his
America
father.
We have the same program. The father,
so Jim Morrison, his father was in the Navy. I don't know if he was associated with the U.S. Liberty, but he was pissed as hell about it and was raising awareness about it. So some say that someone like Jim Morrison may not have, unalived himself.
Well, what if I just get you hooked on heroin? I bet you I probably could just push some dominoes there and I could sit back and I didn't do nothing. You had a moral failing just because your father started the Vietnam War. He was like, he had something happen to him young though, I think. Because of his like bedwetting and all that shit. I was watching some video about, and I wasn't saying this shit I'm saying, but it was all about his life and that chick. There's always these these girls are always around the troubled rock stars, right? Like Courtney Love, whose father managed the Grateful Dead. The Grateful Dead's Courtney Love's dad, legendary friend of that guy that killed an elephant with LSD, by the way, Jolly West.
Oh yeah, the illustrious Jolly West, who was always present.
And Jolly West, and Jolly West is probably one of the better ones of the people in this program. From what I could see, he might have been one of the least evil ones, and he wasn't good. Anyway, her dad has a book about his crazy time, because like all intel people, they're narcissists who want a book about their adventures out there. So he wrote a book about him with the Grateful Dead, and it's dedicated to the boys of Bohemian Grove, right in the first page. That's Courtney Love's dad. Courtney Love, who is being pimped out at age 15, she says, because she's a handler for Kurt
Cobain.
But I think she's just there to keep him like in a certain level of pussy stupid, right? But Dave Grohl's dad, speechwriter for Reagan, I'll bet Dave Grohl was a more vital role. What do you think? Just one.
Dave Grohl was a speechwriter. His father was a speechwriter for Reagan. I had no idea.
Yeah, and he's got all these band members that die that he's in bands with. But I mean, he could just die COVID. Hey,
yeah.
They a lot of these people I'll tell you what, man, don't ever be like a musician or like a rapper or a plasma scientist. Don't be
Well, you
studying
probably
fusion.
heard of this too. So like Steve Mara says that there are services in Hollywood. If you want to, like, if you write some music and you want it to be a hit, you can pay somebody to do a ritual for you.
So I already, okay, so I've heard other people tell this story, but I'll tell you my friend, what she told me, because she used to work Diddy Party. You know, like my girlfriend used to work at a restaurant and wait on Pete, like Jennifer Love Hewitt and Kevin Spacey, and she didn't realize it was Kevin Spacey. She just was like, "I was like a nice gay man over there," and they're like, "That's Kevin Spacey." And both her and my friend Monterey's a comic would see the guy who made Transformers. What's that director?
What the hell is his name?
You know, but he Ninja Turtles, the new one. He made all that and explosion garbage factory movies he makes. And that guy, he's one of these guys that always has a prostitute that's his date to a restaurant, and but they're like visibly a prostitute. Like you're like, is that? I know that's not his girlfriend because she's dressed like a prostitute, even in a time when girlfriends dress like that. They all knew she's a hooker. So he's one of these guys that only brings hookers around. He's probably a goddamn lizard person, honestly. They can't form connections, these lizards. Anyway, so she was at a Diddy party. It was when Kobe Bryant was still alive. There was some kind of drink, I forget what it was, but it was in this like cool like cup. Now, this at the time, before you know all this shit with Diddy now, this now sounds creepy as hell, but it's like a spooky like voodoo cup was the theme of the cup. And I can't remember what the drink was. It's a drink you've heard of. It wasn't like, but anyway, he was like instructed to make sure everyone drinks this.
That's creepy.
Now it is. Yeah, now. But at the time, you're just like, this guy wants to throw the best possible party. So she goes to Kobe, and Kobe didn't drink. He goes, I don't smoke weed. And she goes, and she goes, well, I'm in trouble if she was like trying to be like cute. I'm in trouble if, you know, he goes, I don't care, bitch. Like, so she's just got things. So she didn't drink it. But one of the girls she worked with, some friend of hers, this black girl, was an alcoholic, and she secretly drank it. And this bitch collapsed in the bushes. And then my friend had to pick her body up, her unconscious body, and carry her out of the party. And at the time when this happened, she said she's walking out of the middle of this event, and there's all these really famous people pointing and laughing as she drags this unconscious girl on her back, barely, because it's dead weight. And she said she remembers they're all pointing, and she could see they were all just zooted out of their fucking skulls. I guess except for Kobe. Maybe he left. I don't know where Kobe was, but it's kind of like the cavalry march of Christ with his cross, except it's your black friend who has a drinking problem that drank the Kool-Aid.
That's Stations of the Cross. Yeah.
Dude, the story she told me very much sounded like, oh my, that's crazy. Then she tells me about this other party where, who is she working with? This guy used to work in music, and he went with his assistant to some party. He goes in the garage, or I remember he was looking for the bathroom or something. But there was a pool tarp over like the so it was empty garage, and there's a pool tarp set over it, but it was like folded over. He's like, what is that? They have a pool? And he looked, and there's a big pentagram. I'm like, well, that's weird. All right, whatever. And then he walks in a room, and his assistant, this chick who was like new to, you know, off the bus out to LA working thing, she's in a room getting gang banged. It didn't look like unwillingly, but it was crazy to walk in on by guys all wearing pig masks.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and then she ended up quitting and moving home, and then he was like, I don't want anything to do with this. So these are stories I would hear just randomly that are not it sounds, yes, I understand now saying it sounds fucking insane. But do you know how many of these stories that people have that you don't think anything of unless for someone tells you to think something of it? I know I wouldn't unless I did Jimmy Dore show. I wouldn't have the kind of suspicions I have about everything. And we don't talk about weird devil blessings on records. But I mean, once you figure out they made gangster rap so they could get more black guys in prison, and that's like there's like a Illuminati letter to Manzini letter going around about hip hop where the guy said he was at a meeting. It may or may not be true, but it's the content's true. That's what they did. Of course they did. I mean, you could easily see that's the goal here. It's just like any war. I profit off a war. So the drug war, I profit off that.
You should. I have a episode where I interviewed David Morehouse about this operation called Torn Image. So he worked for this. You know how Delta is like Task Force Green? Well, there's something called Task Force Orange. Long before that, it was called Royal Cape or
The
something
most
like that.
terrific Task Force Orange. You got to see this force. You got to see.
So it's like the military version of like human intelligence, CIA stuff.
Okay.
So they do these things called strategic deception, where they create a lie that supposed to last for 10 years. So I won't go into it too much.
What?
But
Really?
Yes.
Why 10
yes.
years?
Because it just takes that long to develop. I'll give you an example. Like one example might be like an anthrax pill, right? So you take an anthrax pill. So it just like the Russians think you have, and you create like all the pharmacology and all the stuff, and you hand it out to troops, and it makes the Russians think that, we can't use anthrax on them because they'll just take this pill and they'll be fine. Turned out it was like aspirin. So it's like stuff like that you can keep for 10 years, a long time.
Well, he created why not synergize it? Okay. Yeah. Instead of the harmless pill, why don't we test some other shit on these guys who we own? Why don't we do that?
They
it's
probably
not even
do.
Nothing to do with anthrax.
Yeah, they probably do. Who knows?
Just kill two birds with one stone. I'm trying to be helpful.
Well, he created one and they had to stop it in 6 months because it was about to burn out the drug war.
What was that?
So it was called Torn Image. And what they did is they wanted to get the Cali or the Colombian cartels to off each other. So they wanted to create an intra-drug war and an inter-drug war. So they wanted guys within the system killing each other, and they wanted the cartels to kill each other. And at one point, it resulted in the leader of one of the cartels getting chainsawed to death because Pablo Escobar thought this guy was spraying his crops. So what they did is they created this deception that there was this active agent that they could spray on cocaine and remove its psychoactive component. And so what they would do is they would intercept some of the supply and they would chemically remove it, right? But they made people think it was some sort of like fungus or pathogen or something like that was being sprayed on crops. So they would intercept stuff from the supply, remove the psychoactive component, and then reseed it in. So what started happening is in like the U.S., drug dealers started shooting each other, killing each other, and then in the cartels, they would create or use like the tail images and stuff like that of the rival cartels, and they would fly over their crops and spray them, right? And then so they all thought that they were spraying some psychoactive component that would render their cocaine absolutely obsolete. Now there was another thread where they were working with one of the national laboratories, maybe Sandia National Laboratory, where they're actually trying to find if there was like a pathogen that they could bioengineer that would actually do that. I don't know if that would. Yeah, but it was so effective, Kurt, that the intelligence community is like, we got to stop. Like, we're going to end we're not going to be able. Basically, we're not going to be able to launder money, like if we just take out everybody. Well, but that was like it was so effective. It was like a 10-month strategic deception campaign.
Imagine if we found Osama bin Laden right away, how much that would have spoiled the fun. Thank God that Pakistan was nice enough to hold him and pretend to let Obama, you kill him, son of a bitch. Obama goes in early for the election. Seymour Hersh had a whole article about it. Came out in 2011. Never saw it until many, many years later. And that explains why they buried him. They gave him a Muslim burial at sea. Remember? And
yeah. We never saw him. We never saw his body.
Like, hey, that's not a Muslim burial. And I was like, and then what's a trick on me? Like, because I might as well be a rival drug dealer to Al Qaeda in the eyes of the government. I was gonna be like, thank God they don't use those tactics on us. Boy, thank God these heroes would never turn that on us, the citizens. And Obama didn't sign that bill. That means they are definitely allowed to do that, and they have been the entire time.
But look it up. I'm not making this up. It's called Torn
I don't think
Image.
You're making it up. It's so like, it's such like look, it's like learning a magic trick. It's like ruining, like that's what the deal is. That's why Intels are coffins. They're doing magic, and that's magic, dude. It's like the illusion. See, so then meanwhile we'll try to invent something. So you just lie until you make it a reality. Like it's the principle is really like fake it till you make it. Think positive.
Yeah, and you just turn up places where people have naturally have suspicion. I mean, this literally got a cartel leader chainsawed to death by Pablo Escobar's people. Like, and it wasn't even real. The guy wasn't even poisoning Pablo Escobar's crops.
Did Pablo ever find out the guy didn't do it? I mean, it's like, ooh.
I mean, he's dead. He's dead now.
You keep moving forward. Is all you can do. Oh wait, you gotta go soon. Let me. There might be some, questions in chats here.
Yep.
Well, we got you. Through a Glass Darkly is Sean's show you should watch. Cody Hammond. Hey Mark, why did my shirt get delivered to Grand Rapids? I don't live there. Still love you, bro. Love you, Kurt. Well, we think you should move to Grand Rapids. We'll figure it out. We can figure it out, right?
Yeah. I'm shipping out all the shirts today that are still not shipped, and when that one comes back to me, email me and I will get that to the right address. My apologies.
I mean, wait, which one comes back? Because he's not in Grad. Oh, is it like an old address? I don't understand the story.
It will get returned to sender, and I'll send it to the right address if he emails me.
Just send him one, and he could send it at his leisure. I don't want to make him give it back, and then just send him one and take it on my cut. All right. Let's see what's next. AMK, why isn't the sun yellow anymore? It's like a bright white LED light now. It was more yellow during my childhood. Can anyone explain? You shouldn't be looking into the sun. That's why it looks different. You burned your eyes out. There's probably because of geoengineering in your area. It just creates a lens. They're just spraying chemicals on you. Relax. Why are you so paranoid?
It's just a little silicon dioxide. Not a problem.
Herb de Burp, thank you for the 50. I don't know what denomination it is. Hawk to a coin. Derping out in Hawarpi. Oh, Tulsi's from my hometown. Why does anyone talk about the creepy Hare Krishna offshoot she's in? SIF or Butler call. I think I brought it up before to people because my cousins are all in that. One of my uncles is a lawyer, like way high up in Hare Krishnas, and there is a breakaway Hare Krishna thing that Tulsi's in. That's true, and it's Hare Krishna. By the way, Hare Krishna, nothing against my family who's into it, but it's all British invented. They've all been trying to come up with the one world religion. So the idea of destroying Christianity is not just like, oh, we're all Satanists. Some of them aren't Satanists in their heads. Some of them want a Star Trek one world. How do we get rid of this thing? Islam, they're like, we may have to just kill them all. I don't know how they're planning to get rid of that, but they want a thing that blends all the things together, so that they can have a nice, so the crown, not the King of England, the crown, which is the city of London, and it's an oligarchy. That's what we have, an oligarchy. We've always had that. We always shall have that.
Yep.
Okay. I'll get more into it because that is an interesting point. I'm glad you brought it up. I have a crazy Tracy Twyman synchronicity story, but it's too long to type out. Could I send the story by email? Yeah. dangermint@yahoo.com. Ancient Egypt, the 9 was Enid, 9 creators, deities. In Indo-Europe, the word references new. In Hindu, Nava, Graha, 9 celestial. Yeah, I know all the shit that Herod Agrippa and his dumb buddies made up because Kabbalah is the mother lode of bad ideas. You know how Sam Harris says that about Islam? No, it's actually Kabbalah. The mother lode of bad ideas is Kabbalah. All right, what's next? Captain Caveman says semen is all over on YouTube. Oh, okay. Okay. It explains how the Bible is allegorical fairy tale and Jesus was actually a con man, drug dealer. You talk about what's his name?
Eamon Hillman.
Yeah, Eamon Hillman. I got interesting information from him, but I think here's the thing: you have to understand his bias is that when he went to Jerusalem and he was a fat guy with a beard who didn't look like that, he was told by his possessed assistant that he would be the Antichrist. He would be heralding the Antichrist. This is his story. So, and I'm sure that did happen to him. He seems like, I've never seen a guy look like that from one video to another. So probably happened. And as a result, let's say I'm here to herald the Antichrist. I might say some shit like Jesus used kids as drugs because I have a bias for one side, without condemning the Antichrist. I just consider that. All right, what's next? Kurp, new followers here. A few topics. GT and pink drink, radioactive psychic powers. I thought it was just fluoride, but I don't fucking know or remember anything but that. Julia Mossbridge book, Octopus Conspiracy. Yeah, I know about that. The Family. Oh, The Family. That the cult does the shit from The Family where they take the kids and put them with a different Oneida was doing that. 4chan whistleblower. NHI with musical voice. I gotta learn how to read Morse code, man. All right, what's next? Thank you, Doctor. Gaddis, Jack Sparrow is Jesus who drinks due to trauma. Well, I think Jesus got over it once he was resurrected. In the story, I think he got over it once he moved. Like, Monica Reyes from the X-Files, awfully close to missing.
Monica Reza. That's a scientist that was missing. Yeah.
Who was Monica Reyes in the X-Files?
I have no idea. I just know who Monica Reza is.
Yeah, right. Interesting. Well, I mean, look, if you're Persian enough and Mexican enough, remember they were saying how Iranian terrorists were sneaking through Mexico? There's a reason they can do Plasma in Greek means living being. Yeah, the R.A. Casaldo, who's got us finished explaining plasma to me, was explaining that originally the guy who discovered it called it radiant matter. The person, I don't know which, if that's Bohm or the other guy, but they called it plasma because he says the lifeblood of the universe. And so plasma is kind of a stupid name because it's like poetic and it doesn't really let you know what plasma is, but it's radiant matter. Okay. May the quartering be butt punished. Boy, I'm glad you brought up the quartering, dude. And I wanted to put that Dr. Trump medicine Jesus up, but the Curtin Sam experiment, I played it. And you go on my Twitter, I played the Jeremy I'll Be Home for Cuckmas holiday preview. But yeah, fuck Jeremy for real, dude. Do you notice that Jeremy is a perfect metaphor of Trump? Like he's like a cuck who's being handcuffed to a toilet while a Jewish bull runs all up in his shit and does
that seems legit.
Does false flagging? Yeah. I was like,
yeah, that seems legit.
Yeah. Go ahead and sit in my chair, BB. My dad, Sam Jaffe, ABC News Moscow bureau chief. Oh, interesting. Spoke out about Mockingbird. And he was accused. I've been telling. Oh, well, hit up Mark or me. I'd like to hear that story. That'd be great. Deborah Jaffe, thanks for the $20. Sure, maybe I should give you $20. Trump missed an insult opportunity for MTG. He should call her Marjorie Potato Green. Okay, do you think he was saying brown like she's poop, or he was just mistaking green and brown in the moment? It sounds like Trump is checked out, and he's just like, I'm just going to trumpet them because I literally have no control over anything happening right now, and he doesn't.
I think Mark Levine is like writing some of the stuff for him, and then somebody else comes in and writes in his voice. Yeah,
yeah, because they're like, this is exactly what Trump would say. Fuck you, Alex Jones. I hate you now. I just said you were the best guy, and you're low IQ. Because it could have been Trump. Just look, if I was being blackmailed with something so heinous that I had to start World War III on behalf of Likud Party, I probably
check out. Yeah. Check out. Yeah, it's just
that's my rookie Kurp right there. That's true. Jeremy Hamplin, aka 1/4 pounder flag. I think it was his Zionist bull did. When you're okay. The people that know this just trying to explain because Kino Casino somebody made a cartoon of what it looks like to a normal person seeing Kino Casino. It's an animation of PPP just going, oh. But trying to explain to my girl about Jeremy Hamblin, because she's like, when she saw the I'll Be Home for Cuckmas thing I made, she's like, that's kind of mean. I was like, fuck Jeremy. And then, so I'm trying to show her shit so she can get a conceive of what this guy is. And then she goes, wait, he has a bull and it's not a black guy. It's just some Jewish guy. Like, she couldn't get past the fact that his bull isn't a black guy. That is unusual. Just him and Donald Trump are the only two people I've ever heard of like that. All right, what's next? Is there ultimately any boundary between science and religion? Well, our concept is science, the Western concept, which I agree with Joseph P. Farrell, was fucked by Augustine of Hippo. It turned us into dualistic bullshit, fucking Illuminati thinking instead of, and it makes it all about moral failings as opposed to, you broke this. When Eve ate the fruit, it was like she put alphabet soup in the gas tank and broke the car, is how they see it in the Eastern Church, apparently. In the Roman Catholic, and that's what we go under, even if you're Protestant, is you're guilty because of a crime they did. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's not a matter. It's not a moral failing that you're born, which is what they teach you in a lot of these things. It's that when Eve got initiated, I'm just like breaking the story down. She got initiated into something that fucked us all up, and now we are mortal in 3 dimensions and have to die. And if you're gonna die, and if I was a creature that was immortal looking at you, I would just look at you as a dead thing. You're already, you know what I mean? Like, you're already dead to me because you're going to die. And I'm going to be here living in a goddamn circle like a snake blowing itself. Anyway, you get it. Okay. Anything else? Okay. My boss worked on the Artemis too, and I swear she's a spy. or some type of wait. So if that's your so where do you work? It's not if you say it because it says Pizza X Bandit. Is it your boss at a pizza place? Because I will tell you that is very suspicious. She's spy or android. Well, I got to know more about it to tell you. But if you give me a few more data points, I can say definitively. Give you a very high remote view.
I'm going with both.
Yeah, and that's a great point. Maybe not either or. Maybe a yes and. Jeremy Dahl, have Harrison Coley on to discuss ponerology. Okay, it sounds pretty funny. Ponerology. I gotta look up what that is.
It's a science or study of evil.
And it's called ponerology.
Well, I don't think people pronounce it that way, but yeah.
Oh, how do you pronounce it?
Maybe ponerology. I've never heard it uttered, so I've just read it.
Oh, well, I've got a stiff boner to go look that up now. Jack Parson, the rocket engineer's uncle, was responsible for killing off all the giant chestnut trees. The biggest. Wow. That's like how they don't tell you that Johnny Cash made a species of condor go extinct from throwing his cigarette out into the all the Smokey the Bear shit. Johnny Cash did that. And you got to get lectured like you did it. And they didn't put it in the movie. And when they told him, an entire species of condor went extinct. He goes, I don't care about some damn buzzard. They are a vulture. But come on, man. What's black and white and red all over a Diddy party? I'm trying to think. But yeah. That's fair.
Yeah.
Fair point. Bud Dwyer's last letter to Biden. Yo, Joe, stay cute. Is that true?
Did you see that? Remember that growing up? That guy, Bud Dwyer. Remember that guy? He just got up on TV and ate a gun, and it was like kids are watching. And
that news lady did that too.
Yeah, crazy.
Yo, have you ever thought of putting your stuff on Zhao Hong Shu? They love Zhao Hong Shu. I love stuff over there. AI slop, I'll do it. If you told me you're the Jew bull. I'm not Eskimo cousins with the quartering. No, I was about to tell you I am because you said you would believe it, but I don't know that I want to be drawn into that world of Minnesota swingers. Yeah, I would love to have John on my show. He's been on Jimmy's show and talked. Actually, it's long overdue to have him on the show. I got to get him on. We got it figured out. Speaking of deception, have we seen proof of who the rescued pilots were from the F-15? We're trying to steal the uranium. And I know we got them out. I'm more concerned that they found the ID and one of the pilots was a woman. That's probably why the whole mission failed, honestly. You saw that astronaut Elon talked to. Oh, okay. Danger, as in danger, MINT, mint, dangermint@yahoo.com. Yeah, I think it's on my channel, dude. You should get it. Oh, I think Louis Rossman's good. I would love to have him to host a private, uncensored AI server, share the cost. What if I just waited out a little bit? Once the bubble breaks, ain't it going to be cheaper? Because I bet a lot of stuff's going to come down in price very soon. He's an ancient seaman. Is he someone that lives inside Amon, though? I guess is the question. I'm kidding. Look, I don't. Like I said, it's the same as if you go, hey, this is Christian propaganda about whatever, demonizing whatever nature gods, whatever, right? It works both ways. So I highly doubt that I'm just going to say that I find this doubtful that the Jesus thing would spread that quickly to the point that other dipshit occultists would have to stop it with the 9 if it was all about some drunk who's molest kids. Even though as popular, sadly, as that apparently turned out to be, I have my doubts that would have taken off how it did. I think what appealed to people is they were real dissatisfied with their overlords. And Jesus comes in, hey, you're not the worst. These motherfuckers are going to get what's coming to them. You don't got to kill nobody to do nothing and blah, blah, blah. I think that was very appealing. So don't underestimate the appeal of that message because it still appeals to me as a non-Christian. All right. Staycation sound. Hey, Kurp, I'm an audio mixer. I would love to work with you and Jimmy during your projects. Okay, Jimmy's thing, I'm just a sidekick on. He has a whole team of people, but you you reach out to Jimmy. If you need somebody, they'll get back to you. But I'm in no way with the production of his show. I just sidekick on it. Why is the quartering like so many dudes on the right wing into gay stuff? I don't know, but I think they admire game theory evil. Like people that will. You mentioned some atrocity that's going on that doesn't help their side. Let's take it, for example, when my friend Avi called me because he's a comic and he want to be on Jimmy to defend Israel's genocide of Gaza, well into the where I'm calling it genocide. I didn't want to call it that. I was using ethnic cleansing like Charlie Kirk because I'm not comfortable just throwing that out there, right? But then I looked up what it meant, and it turns out, by their definition of it, the people who defined it, that's what it is. And he goes, and I go, and then he goes, well, you know anything about game theory? And I'm like, I want you. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on here, but if you study game theory or promote it, I want you to Omega. Okay, what's next? I want you to Budweiser game theory. What a vile, what an evil motherfucking thing to talk about. And that's Nazi shit to the core. The banality evil wrapped up right there. Well, you just got to keep planning ahead for like killing people before they kill you. And then it becomes you just being the terrorist by that point, which is what we are. Remember how Iran never attacked nobody? Does anybody remember that? The bad people that I don't worry, I hate them. But they have attacked no one. Or who was it that dropped nukes again? Oh, that's right, it was us. Okay. Fucking morons. Ponerology related to pathocracy, ruled by psycho. Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, cool. That sounds good. I'm into it. Hidden Amaruka has a whole thing on it, but I think he's using his own labels for the groups. But a lot of people hit on the thing. I just don't like a thing where you're supposed to abandon all the people like they're cattle, because I feel like I'm a lizard then too if I'm doing that. Even though I often call people cattle in a fit of rage. That's why I don't say I'm Christian, because clearly I'm not. I don't talk like no Christian. You know what I mean? Like the times I behave like that, then I am, but I'm not 90% of the time. But one thing that I do despise is, this is what I don't like about Jason Georgian, even though I like his shit and having him on was great. I can tell he believes in a certain level of elitism. I can tell he does. And he's
yeah, for sure. For sure.
And,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit, Sean, you got to go. I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
Listen, Sean's got to go. This is a good one, man. Thanks for coming on the short notice. I appreciate it, dude.
Yeah, I appreciate the invite. And we'll definitely
got in touch with you, right? Mark Gagnon.
Yeah. I talked to Mark. I talked to Julian Dory too. So
oh yeah, nice.
Good stuff.
All right, that's
Good
great.
stuff.
Yeah, you'd be great. Oh yeah, because you know a bunch of shit. All right, you listen, everybody. You got derped. I got to go work on my other thing now.